Hey guys, welcome to art. So this week we're going to do something really fun. We're going to learn about an artist that lives in America, and we're going to create one of his inspired paintings with markers called Blue Dog. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about George Rodrigue in just a second. So, everyone ready? Let's get creative. Let's learn a little bit more about George Rodrigue. He's an American painter from Louisiana and was inspired by his Cajun culture. He was especially inspired by a legend. So he decided to paint using his dog Tiffany as a model and this legend. You notice the glowing yellow eyes. He also decided to use backgrounds to have different expressions for the dogs. If you notice, we started out with just a plain kind of crazy background. We have flowers. Now we have a beautiful sun. It kind of reminds me of a Van Gogh painting. I wonder if you notice which one that could be. And a beautiful cactus background. If you notice, they're getting a little bit more detailed. He also then decided maybe those dogs can do different things. So, hey, dogs love to go on motorcycles, so why not paint one like that? And I thought the boys, you guys might love this, an LSU dog. Of course, he was definitely inspired by LSU. He turned a dog even to a butterfly. And I love the colors. If you notice, he uses bright, bold colors with outlines. Of course, back to his Cajun bayou with an alligator. And dogs love to be chefs, so I understand this one. But again, he used one subject and was inspired to do many paintings. Santa dog, still loving it. And if you note, again, bright colors and a bold outline. Dog president, why not? You can notice the White House back there. And one of my favorites at the end is a blue Hawaii with Blue Dog. Okay, it's that time. Let's talk about art materials and mediums. So of course we're going to need a white piece of paper. I have a paper underneath just in case it bleeds through to my table, just to protect it. And then I also have a scratch piece of paper right here when I want to test my markers out. I am going to need a black marker. So if you only have access to a good washable one, that will work. If not, a Sharpie is even better because we know that's going to be a bolder one. You guys are going to start and draw only with a pencil and then outline your lines. So a pencil. Of course, I'm going to draw with a Sharpie on here. So pencil, eraser, that, and then of course you need what color of markers? I don't know. If a blue dog, what kind of color markers are we going to need? Definitely red, right? No. We're going to need blue, lots of different blues, and we're going to just use some regular markers for our background. And also you're going to need a yellow for his eyes. My other thing I want you to know is that I have a lot of different shades. If you don't have all those shades of markers, that's fine. You can have one dark, use this dark washable marker as your outline and your bold color, and then maybe you could use a colored pencil or a crayon if you bear down really hard, because if you notice, a lot of his paintings are bright, and we want to make sure that our paintings are bright. Well, we don't get to paint because we're not in the studio, but our drawings are bright and colorful, just like George's. Okay, go get your materials and we'll meet back. Ready, set, go. Okay, so everyone grab their materials, so let's get started on our blue dog. So we need to think about, in all the pictures of George's blue dog, he was focused in the center. So we want to make sure that ours is big and bold. So we're going to start ours about right here, and I'm going to make not quite a frowny face, but an arced line. Remember, you can do this with a pencil, and it might be a lot easier in case you make a mistake. Okay, now we're going to start up with his ears. So his ears are going to come, and they're going to go up. And I kind of like to make them a shaggy kind of line coming down, okay? And then we're going to do the same thing on this side. The shaggy line just kind of makes it look like a fur. And since we can't paint, we're going to make it furry as much as possible with our line work. Okay, so we have 2 ears, the top of his head. So now we need the rest. And all we're going to do is come down and we're going to make just a furry line down and a furry line down. Now we need to make his little snout. And it's kind of like an upside down heart at first. So I come down and I make 1 bump and 2. So you say, oh, that's easy enough. Well, let's finish it. So we're going to finish up the nose by going straight up and making a furry top. Can you see my lines? And we're going to go straight back down to meet it. Now we need all his other features. Let's finish up and make his mouth, and I kind of want to make that shaggy, so I'm going to come back over my line. And again, you can do that with your marker how I just did. I drew it and then I made it shaggy. That's your choice. We need his nose, and his nose is a shape that you're going to recognize. It's an upside down rhombus. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, because we know rhombuses have 4 sides. And then we're going to just do a little shadow on the top, which is just a line. And then his little nostrils. Inside of Blue's ears, which I like to make like that. And then I'm going to make a little shaggy line at the bottom. So triangle, shaggy line at the bottom. And of course, he needs some eyes. We know Blue has yellow eyes, so we're going to color that in later, but we're going to put his black pupils in. If you are using just a pencil, just like when we say in the art studio, don't color in with your pencil. Don't waste your time. Go back and color when you're outlining. Okay, so now we kind of have his eyes. I'm going to maybe even add a little bit of a shiny in it. And then I like to make his eyes kind of come out like this. Have a little triangle at the end. But again, you can make yours a girl and make some eyelashes. Make it what you would like. That's what George would want you to do, because you're just being inspired by Blue. Our next step is we're going to add his shoulders, or her shoulders, but I mean that can be up to you what you want to call yours. And then we have, of course, if you notice when his eyes were kind of had like the fur to make it dramatic. So we're going to make our eyes a little dramatic. So we're going to add some squiggly lines above, squiggly lines above, and some squiggly lines below. I also like to then add kind of some dashes like that. Okay, so we have our Blue done. So this part is going to be the next part. Now, if you wanted your Blue before you even did eyes, you can make sunglasses. If you wanted yours to have cool eyes, make your eyes like that. If you wanted yours to have a flower headband, put that on there. That's what you're going to do next. Add those cool details that you want to do. So we're going to color in. How I like to do it is I have a couple of different shades, and I test them out on here just like this. So I have the different shades, and I wanted this darker shade to kind of be the highlight of his eyes and the different around. So we're going to highlight, which means we're just going to go around our lines just like that. And all my lines I see, I just go over them. And if you have not outlined in black, this would be the time to do it, right? Right. And you can even add more shagginess to it when you are outlining. It makes it a little bit, it makes it pop. And we want our Blue to pop, right? I'm just going back over and creating with the darkest color. So whatever dark you have. So if you only have one dark blue marker, or one marker, that's what you would marker, okay? Got it? Got it. Okay, so I'm going to do this real quick. We're going to fast forward it so you can see it in great motion. Well, fast forward might be my new favorite thing in the world. Look how fast I am going. So continue to outline. Okay, so we did our outlining. Now it is time to color in. If you notice, I went ahead and used the darkest color to color in his first part of his nose. So, and then we're going to go back with a lighter color. First, I'm going to use my yellow and color in his eyes. Okay, that's just one difference that I just want to make sure you do that. And then I forgot, my darkest color also is going to be coloring inside my ears. So the darkest blue shade is what's going to go inside your ears. Our next step is going to be our blue, obviously. So I'm going to do more of a lighter blue. I'm going to pick out, make sure I test it. I'm going to do that lighter blue for the highlight of his nose, right there. And then I might come around and do some light blue around his face. Because remember, If I do light right now, I can always go back and color in. Okay, so I'm coloring in my light colors. I'm keeping this white. So remember, his little snout and his mouth is going to stay white, okay? And then I'm just coming around, and I am just coloring in with this. I'm using my fast marker, that's why it looks a little faster. If you use a Crayola marker, it's going to take a little bit longer. But I'm using my special markers just because I know we needed it to do fast. Also, I love the sound of it. I don't know why. It might be really annoying to you, but it's not to me. It's kind of a soothing sound. I'm going to be honest with everyone. Okay, so I have a light coat down. Now I'm going to go back with my next, not quite dark shade, but my kind of lighter shade, and I'm going to go and highlight around it. And I decided that this one was my next one. So I'm just going to come around. If I want to add some more dark spots, that's what I can do. I kind of like to come down and around and combine. Now I do like his body being completely the blue, so that's what I'm going to paint. I keep on calling it paint because this is usually a painting activity in our classroom, but we can't do that right now because I don't know if a lot of people have paint at home. If you do, you know what? You can actually paint this, and you are fancy. So I've got to figure out what you have at home. So if you ever want to shoot me a seesaw and be like, hey, I do have watercolors, I can maybe make sure I say, hey, if you have watercolors, use watercolors here. I am missing our art materials, definitely. Okay, so I have him colored in. I can go back and add any more colors that I want. If I want it a little bit darker up here, that's what I can do next. Our next idea is our background. Here's a couple different ways we're going to do it. If you kind of went over the lines and you're like, oh, I don't like that look, you can cut them out and put them on your background. Or you can just go ahead and do it now. Think about if you want your blue to be, maybe in the North Pole. If you want him to be in space, you could have done an astronaut one. If you want him surrounded by dinosaurs. If you want him to be a football player, Clemson player, kindergarten boys. I know you guys can all draw a Clemson field. I've seen it numerous times. If you want it to be a scientist, it could be a scientist. It could be a naturalist. It could be outside with binoculars looking for birds. It can just be a beautiful color. It can be a desert background. So that is when it's going to be your artist choice. So I'm going to let you finish this. If you need to go back and pause it, we're going to get back together and you guys start working on your background. Again, I'm not going to tell you what to do for your background because your blue is special to you. Got it? Okay, get to work. Congratulations. You finished your blue dog. I am so proud of you. So I wanted to tell you a couple things before we sign off. One thing I wanted to tell you is that if you're having trouble with something, usually in the art studio, if you're having trouble, I can walk around and help you. Well, we're obviously not in school. So what I want to tell you is that if you get your parents to they can seesaw me, or you can seesaw me and ask me questions, or you can email me if you need to do that, and we can Google Meet if you're struggling with something, because I really want you to finish these projects, because I think they're fun and different, and you can always take your own spin on them. Remember that, okay? Nothing should be, oh, I don't want to do art because it's so hard. I want you to have fun and enjoy it, and do the challenges, okay? Because I really enjoyed seeing everybody's work. Did you guys like the ending? I had so many good kindergarten, first, and second graders work. I'm going to be honest. I think you guys turned in more than third and fourth grade, okay? You guys rocked it. Okay, so remember that. Remember, too, if you need to pause it, if you need to go back, if you need to restart, go for it. You can slow me down, okay? I will not be hurt. Okay, guys, good luck. Have fun. Don't forget, send me your things. And also, I'm looking for always things to begin our art videos. So if you have an idea, or if you have, hey, I know what we should do at the beginning of an art idea movie, send it to me, okay? Can't wait to see them. Bye, guys.